And so he gives us a list. I'm going to read this list to you, and I'll just go through it relatively quickly. He says, these are the acts of the flesh. They're obvious. Sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage. Anybody found themselves in this yet? Selfish ambition, dissensions, factions, envy, drunkenness, and the like. And he goes through this whole list. Now here's the problem. If you were to put that list up on the board, we were to put all these sins up there, all these lists of things, there would be certain ones that would jump out at you. And if you're an older brother, the ones that would jump out at you are the ones that you find the scourge on our culture. You'd be sitting there going, I can't believe God puts up with that, because if I were God, I would get all this. They would be, And you're the older brother. When you see a list like that and you immediately point out all the things that you believe other people do that undermine our way of life, you were acting like the older brother, thinking if they just behaved better, we would have a system in which human beings could flourish. Others of you would look at that list and all you would see are the things that you do that you believe keep you from God. And that if you weren't that way, or if you did something better long enough, or maybe you could just be a servant, you're still operating under this system. That's what's keeping you away. And all the while he says, hey, repent. Repent. Those who do these things will not inherit life in this way, in this moment. How do you get it? By coming because of grace and by remaining, by being led by his Spirit. And when you are led this way, you will not gratify these other desires. He goes on, this is where the fruit of the Spirit comes in. He says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. And I believe, my personal belief is that this is singular. The list that follows, it's not 9 different things that are fruits of the Spirit, that the fruit of the Spirit is actually love. The fruit of a life like this is ruled by this. And it gets expressed in joy, peace, patience, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now, you're all listening to this list. Every human being I know, nobody goes, I think that's a terrible list of what humans should be like. Everybody thinks those are like admirable and good. And do you know what he says? He says, against such things, there is no law. It's really interesting because he compares this, they shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven, with living in a way where we're free from the law. What he's saying is this is available to us. And here's the problem. Some of you hear that list, patience and peace and kindness and goodness and gentleness, self-control. You're like, ooh, self-control, I could use self-control. And you just will yourself to be better at self-control. It's this system. It's this system. Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit, and it starts with learning how to trust. It starts here under this rule, and this is what we experience. We experience in our own heart and soul in this way of integrity. We begin to experience that in the relationships with each other as we each begin to live in this way. As I begin to live like this and you begin to live like this, we begin to live like this, we enter back into this culture. And so he tells us that there's this way in which we are to live. Here's what I was going to say. So a lot of you think self-control or patience, if I could just will myself to do this. What I'm going to tell you is the rule of love, if you really learn what this is like, it is more powerful than all the willpower you could ever muster. The rule and the authority of love in your life has more power to change your behavior than all of your effort ever could. This is why it's such good news.